I want to show you this activity and strategy to work on scissor skills. This actually is a way to integrate motor control with motor planning and spatial rotation, which are skills that you need to cut shapes from paper. And we're starting with a simple shape, simple lines, and you would work up to more complex shapes. This is just one of the first steps that you will start with. And I'm going to first show you how this looks by writing it out on paper, and then I'll show you actually cutting on the index cards, which by the way we're using because index cards are a little more resistive and it's easier for control with scissors. So basically you're going to use square or index card shaped pieces of paper, and you'll use several of the same size and shape. So if you're using square, like Post-it notes, you can use that, or you can use printer paper, or you can use the index cards like we are. So I'm using two different colors, and you'll see that I have green and I have red. And I'm using the colors for a specific reason. Green is the cutting lines, and red are the corners or the stop points, where you're going to have your student stop their scissors or cut through the scissors depending on where they're at. And the colors are specific because of green means go and red means stop, going with traffic lights or stoplight signs. So you can see that I drew three different images here. The first one has just one corner. The second one has three lines, which involves three turns of the scissors. And then the last one is a house shape or the top of a pentagon shape. And that is the sequence that you'll work on. So if you're working on scissor skills with a lower grade level, then you would start with the farthest left with just two turns of the scissors. Next, I'm going to draw the same shapes onto the cardstock. So basically, this is just to show you what the overview looks like, and then we're actually using these index cards in the correct sequence. So you'll have each of these index cards set up, and like I said, if you're starting at the beginning, you would just do the first index card, and then maybe you need to keep working on that skill, and that's totally okay. If not, then you would move on to the next one, and so on. So with these specific shapes, we are working on cutting the outside corners of shapes. I'll show you in a different video how to do the inside corners, which would be used for more complex cutting shapes or cutting activities. So the first one is cutting just through that first line, and then the second line, and then so on. One other thing I wanted to mention is that we are using a marker here that you can adjust the sizing or the grade the cutting lines. And by that, what I mean by that is that if you are starting at the very beginning, you might use really thick lines and make more of a cutting path. Then you can grade down and use smaller lines. So as you can see with this first one, I cut to the stop sign and then turned the card, and I continued on the shape. So that is one strategy. If that is a way that works and you're able to hit the scissors to the stop sign, red dot, then you would turn the card and keep going. Some students may not do so well with that, and they need to cut through the stopping point. So I like that stop sign imagery because they can note that they do need to pause their scissors, but they can keep going like you would at a stop sign. And then you would turn the card and continue on with the rest of the shapes. This pentagon type of shape is a little more tricky with the turns. So I'm going to cut through the stop sign, and then I'm going to turn the card and continue on. So you can do that with your students and then grade down to thinner lines where you're cutting along the path, or you can have them, once they are able to do that and hit those nice sharp corners, you can have them cut right to the stop sign and turn the card. And this is progressively going to make it more of a task for them that they can work on, so they can go through each of these steps. So you can see the three shapes that we have here. I kind of lost the first one. It's somewhere in this pile here, but this is the strategy that we're working on. Hopefully it helps and works for you.